Lally ho, friends, and welcome to our final player interview for our upcoming Kupo quest. I'm Wolfkins. You probably know if you've watched this already. And I've got Fishybugs here with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a nice and early Tuesday, hanging out. Got some breakfast.
What do you like for breakfast?
I'm a cottage cheese and apples kind of man. I got an apple core slicer peeler, one of those things that you just push down on the apple and it.
I'm iffy on cottage cheese, but I'll give you the apple. I actually just had an apple too.
That's fine. I'll eat all the cottage cheese so you don't have to.
Okay. See, perfect pairing already. Well, I don't know. We'll have to fight over the apples. Anyway, give us a little bit of introduction about yourself besides your love of cottage cheese.
My name is Fishybugs499. That's what I go by like online on Twitch and Twitter and such. So Fishybugs, Fishy, or Nathan. I'm over here on the west coast of America in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep, we got two of you over on the west coast, I think.
Hey, heck yeah! Didn't realize someone else was over on the west coast.
I think Harlequin said they were over there as well. So.
Hey, heck yeah!
I'm East Coast. Sorry. At least actually, I don't know if anybody's from my same time zone. We've got two West Coast. I can't remember where Ace was from, but then I know Psychic's from Australia, so we're all over the place for the.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, sorry to get you so early. I scheduled this on my lunch break. So.
With my line of work, I am up this early and then some, so I do not mind at all.
There you go. All right, that's not too bad. Yeah, I get up when I have to, and that's normally when my toddler's like, it's time to get up.
Oh, no. Yep, that sounds about right.
She's got a very set sleep schedule, and then we're ready to go. So, All right. Well, thank you for doing this. It's been, not just sitting down for the interview, but also for agreeing to play, because we're less than a week out now at the time of this recording, and I'm getting very excited and very nervous. I'm afraid we're going to have episode 1 and then you all are going to be like, oh, what did we sign on for? This guy sucks. But, we'll see. But thanks.
We'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about what you are going to be playing. You don't have to do any spoilers about backstory. We're trying to keep that on the DL, but what's your character? What are you looking to play?
Yeah, I am playing a character named Avalan Exalos. He is what's the D&D race called? Avarian?
Okay.
Eladrian?
Oh, okay.
He's Final Fantasy's equivalent to an elf.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, Elezen.
Elezen.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
I took that from Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. He's an Elezen monk, and I plan on going into probably the worst subclass for monk in the game, which is the Way of the Four Elements.
Yes. Well, it's so on brand, though.
It is
so on brand, and it's
so cool.
Yeah, I have to applaud you for that, because I personally really like the theme of that subclass, and it fits so well with the themes of Final Fantasy. And I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
If you can tell from the short synopsis that I've given, but the game starts off kind of similar, pulling from Final Fantasy 1 with some of that stuff, and you start with Cornelia and all that stuff. So odds are there'll be some crystals, and odds are we'll have some elemental things. So it's very on brand. So I think I like it. I like what you've done there. Now, to your point, I've not played it, but I've heard Four Elements is not great.
Yeah, it's it could do with a little bit of improvements personally.
Yeah,
I think the stuff's just a little too expensive to use. Yeah, but it's so cool.
That's one of the ones. Now, I love monk. I love playing monks. I haven't played Four Elements. I really like. Oh man, is it Kensei, the one that uses particular weapons? I really.
Oh
like
yeah,
that
that uses like the samurai-ish weapons.
That one's great. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a look. If things need to be adjusted, we can adjust them, or if flare things up a little bit with some Final Fantasy flair and call it adjustments, So yeah, because right now the way that I'm running the game is we're playing pretty much D&D 5e with some very minor tweaks until we get to like the job system, and then there's going to be some. But I'm also trying to keep that within the realms of 5e. But there are some adjustments. I was thinking earlier today I'm going to rename some spells, literally just rename them, because you know, and Psychic actually gave me the idea talking about Asuna. I'm like, yeah, why don't we just call, you know, what's it? Not Cure Wounds, the one that takes away status effects. Lesser Restoration. Why don't we just call that Asuna? Why not? And I'm like, oh, okay. Super easy tweaks to make.
We could just call Cure Wounds Curaga, true.
Well, I was thinking Cure for Cure Wounds and then Curaga for Mass Cure Wounds. That's what I was thinking. You know? So the upper,
I like what you think.
That's the big brain energy there. This is what I think about in the shower. You know, those shower thoughts everybody has. Yeah, 100%. I'm like, it's groggy. I'm half asleep, and I'm like, what if I rename Mass Cure Wounds Curaga? And to me, you know, 6:30 a.m. me, it's like, this is the best idea I've ever had.
Yeah, like you've reached enlightenment at that point. You're like, oh my God.
Exactly. So I've been asking, and I can tell a little bit from what we were just talking about, but, you know, we have mentioned in some of these interviews, we've got a nice kind of group of players here. Some that have a lot more experience in D&D and some that don't, and some that have a lot more experience in Final Fantasy and some that don't. So as far as D&D is concerned, where do you fall on that range?
Oh, in D&D, I've been, not since it came out, but I started in 3 or 3.5 before spell slots were a thing, where like you had to prepare how many fireballs you were going to throw that day.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
it was great.
I'm a 5e baby, so it's all I've ever really known. So I hear stories like that, and I'm like, how do you know? And I just don't think I could do it, because sometimes I have trouble preparing my spells. Like, I don't know if I'll need this today, let alone I don't know if I'll need 2 of these a day.
2 fireballs, or some crap like that, And, you know, mind you, I think we were like 10 or 11 when we were playing that, so we probably weren't even playing it right. And then when 5e came out, I've been gliding with 5e ever since then.
So you like 5e then?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Good, because we're playing
a lot
5e.
of it. I've DM'd quite a bit of one shots, played in a few campaigns.
Okay.
So I've been playing 5e like since it came out.
Favorite character you've ever played?
My favorite character I've ever played, I think, is unfortunately my character that just recently died.
Oh,
his name is Percival Tidecaller, and he is a fathomless warlock. He's a sailor.
Oh, that's a cool subclass too.
Yeah, it was sick.
If it's not too traumatizing, can I ask how they died?
So we're playing in the world of Eberron, and
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give out too many spoilers because it's kind of connected with the main plot line, but a really big bad evil person that we shouldn't have fought yet. I attacked her because I thought she would run. Yeah, and then she was just like, "Hey, nothing personal," and then came up and attacked me 6 times in one turn, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad."
That's not good. Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a little scary.
So I've been telling some stories about player deaths, and I already told the one about somebody rolling a natural 1 twice in a row.
Oh, with the inspiration.
So I'm going to tell you another one about where one of my other players it was them literally not paying attention that got someone else killed. Okay, so they were fighting. They were fighting this enemy, and it got one of them down, and they had just 1 failed save left, right? And then, you know, if you take damage when you're down, it counts as a failed death save. So the boss was standing over top of them, and I said, you know, she's holding her action, and she says to you, if you make a move, I'll end it, okay? And I was like, she's holding her action, and then ended her turn. And the next person was playing this, what's the bird? Aarakocra Ranger. And we all just looked at him. He goes, okay, I'm going to fire. I'm going to shoot. He wasn't paying attention. And like the whole table just kind of looked at him. And I was like, oh no, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, of course. And then he rolls. And I'm like, okay. And you could tell the player whose character it was on the ground was just looking at him like, are you kidding me? And here I'm like, well, you know, I can't, I don't know. I guess I could have, but I was like, she's a bad guy. She said she was going to do this, and I wasn't bluffing you. So now I just looked at the guy. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Blame him. It was. Yeah,
made me do this stab.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of funny. And then it
Oh,
wasn't until
that is
afterwards
kind of funny.
he was like, "Wait,
That is-
what?" And we're like, "Yeah, were you not paying attention?" He was like, "I wasn't listening to you at all."
Oh no.
Dude.
Oh,
Dude.
ouch.
The boss fight's not the time to tune out.
Yeah, seriously, out of all the combats, yeah.
Yeah, so that was bad. The guy that
Oof.
ended up getting them killed, though, did go on to make a pact with a devil and kind of turned against him anyway. So it ended up being on brand.
Oh, well, hey, there we go.
All right, so D&D, yes, I've been playing since 5e, but it's kind of, I don't want to say taken over my life, but it has probably become my main hobby, and it's just,
Oh yeah.
I just like it. I love playing, but I found that if I want a consistent game, I kind of got to DM because most of the people I play with, And when I had the idea for this, I was like, what would force me to be even more consistent if I streamed it.
True that.
So that's the idea, and because why not? My brother is a big streamer, and he just talks about how fun it is. I was like, well, I don't really want to stream games because I'm not that good at them.
Mood.
But I could stream some D&D. Now that I could
Yeah.
do. So,
Yeah, no, it's fun. I used to be part of a group of friends, and I used to have a little thing called the Midlife Adventurers, and we streamed our games.
Oh, cool. That's
we
awesome.
streamed our Curse of Strahd games. It was kind of fun.
Strahd's good. I like Strahd. Strahd's a fun one.
Yeah.
That's one of
that
those
was a fun
ones, I ran it for a while, and I got to play in it too. So that's just a great setting. I really like that setting.
Yeah.
Especially around this time of year, like when it's all spooky and stuff. Yeah.
We started it a year or two ago around Halloween.
So have you finished Strahd?
No, unfortunately, we're on a bit of a hiatus.
No, that's how things happen.
Yeah, but I think we got through a good portion of the game. I think we got through like 70-ish% of it.
Okay. Have you done? And sorry, this is a spoiler for Curse of Strahd. Have you done the Amber Temple? Did you have to do that?
No, not yet. Oh my god, I'm so scared of going there.
I hate that place. I hate that place so much.
I haven't like intentionally gone and looked into it, but from what I've heard on forums and comments and threads, it's like that place is really effing hard.
Well, it's not. It's that, yeah, and it's big. And I was in a group one time, and we had one of those people. And I'm sorry if any of you are one of these people, but they had to turn over every stone. And I was playing it in Adventures League, so I was going like once a week. We were in there for 6 weeks, just going from room to room. I'm like we got what we wanted, but we couldn't get this person to leave. They're like, well, we didn't go this way. We're like, we don't need to go that way. There's nothing. We already found the objective.
With Adventures League too, that makes it rough.
Yeah.
Because they're only like 1 or 2 hour sessions, right?
I think we were doing 2.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks, and it was just like but Adventures League was only meeting once every other week. So how many months?
So you spent like 3 months in that dungeon? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So I was like, let's go. I think that was one of the things that made me quit going to Adventures League. Honestly,
honestly, that's fair.
But that sucked. I liked my character. I was playing a Turtle Paladin, and a Turtle Paladin in Barovia. Yeah, I tried to. What's the guy that has the zoo? What's his name?
Shit.
Yeah, he tried to recruit me. So yeah, D&D. So we've got a good spread of people. We've got 2, I think, that are 2 that are really D&D veterans. I think one that was been playing for a while, and then one that's relatively new. So I think we got a nice blend of people. Same with Final Fantasy. So what's your experience with Final Fantasy? Because we got a nice mix of those too.
That, on the other hand, I'm on the opposite spectrum. I have very minimal experience with Final Fantasy.
Okay.
I think I have maybe 50 hours in Final Fantasy 14, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. Yeah.
I mean, 50 hours is respectable, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
But as far as Final Fantasy 14,
I played the game a little, but yeah, exactly. Or in terms of just Final Fantasy in general, like that's just like a.
Well, even 14, that game is massive. So, where are you? I mean, have you played through all of the expansions? Have you done all that, or where are you at in the MSQ?
I didn't get to any end game content. I didn't hit max level yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I was taking my time with all the story and the side missions and
all
that.
The story's amazing. Where are you at in the story?
Yeah,
do you know what
awesome.
expansion you're in? Like what level range? I guess that'd tell me too.
Um, early 40s, I think.
Okay, so you're probably still in ARR. Okay. It just gets better. It just gets better from there. I mean, you've probably heard, but like this most recent expansion was amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of my
So
friends who's a
good.
big Final Fantasy 14 nut,
Yeah.
plays like every expansion, everything. He's like, dude, this most recent expansion is actually insane.
It's great. And it's so good too because so it even ties things back from like some of the stuff that you're going through, and it's like how do you 10 years worth of storytelling all kind of ties up, and
Ties it, yeah.
it's good. It's good. And that's one of the
Okay.
things I love so much about Final Fantasy is they've got some pretty good narratives. I will say they're
Mm.
some of my favorite narratives, and it's just since I mean that I have more experience with Final Fantasy than I do D&D. I've been playing since I was old enough to really understand what they were. I think my first one was Final Fantasy 7, but the first one I ever owned was 8. So I've been playing since the PlayStation 1. But then I've since gone back and played through all of them at this point. And then yeah, so when I was just thinking, I'd been wanting for a while to build my own D&D world, and I'd struggled with like, okay, well, what are the themes? What's this and that? And then I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm gonna just say let's try to take some Final Fantasy and mix it in. And I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
fun. I think I've got something here. So let's see where it goes.
yeah. No, that's gonna be so sick.
I'm excited and nervous. I don't know if I said that.
Ah,
So what are you playing
what are
14?
nerves? In 14, I played a bard.
Bards are.
Any game that has a bard, I will play, or at least I will try,
So let me ask, why aren't you playing Bard in our D&D campaign?
because I play bards in D&D too frequently.
Too often? Okay. Yeah. Now, have you
Yeah.
played Monk before?
Um, Only like once or twice actually. The reason why I chose monk is my group that I usually regularly play with. I was like, hey, I might be getting into a streamed game. This is super cool. What should I play? And my friend was like, I've never seen you play a monk. You should play a monk if you wouldn't find that too boring. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure, fuck it. Why
So
not?
I don't actually find monks boring. I find because they attack so often. Like
Yeah,
they hit
exactly.
little, but they attack like 5 times. So
Yeah, I usually since I've been playing D&D for so long, and I just have so many fucking creative wild ideas. I
yeah,
usually like to play someone with some sort of magic so I can get a little creative or a little spicy.
yeah,
Um which is I think why I chose Way of the Four Elements, because you
sure,
still get some magical stuff in it.
sure.
But yeah, she was like, I know you usually play magic stuff, but you want to try it? If I'd like to see you play a monk on stream,
Hmm.
that'd be cool. And I was like, sure, why not?
Let's
I'll
do
play
it.
a monk.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I love monk. It might be my favorite melee class. I just really like it. I like how it works. I like some of the flexibility. You get a little bit of the flexibility of rogue with like your step of the wind. You have to pay
Oh
for it with key
yeah.
points. But then you also get the my favorite thing about being a monk is if you ever get kidnapped and everyone takes your weapons, it literally doesn't affect you.
Yep.
So I was
I
playing
am
one.
a weapon.
Yeah, I was playing one time, and it was just the first session. We started out in jail, and it was like a breakout, but we didn't have anything. And I was like, I'm a monk. I had to lead the party out because I was like, I am.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like crippled, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, you're like, this is my final form, baby.
So I do. I love monks. It's so easy to just you have weaknesses. I mean, you all have weaknesses, of course,
Oh, sure.
but
Yeah.
it's hard to take them out with stuff like that. So, and they're very slippery and dexterous. I love dexterous characters
Yeah.
if I'm
Same.
playing.
Me too.
So, what's your favorite class in Bard? That's your favorite,
For Final Fantasy?
or no? Just for D&D.
Oh, for D&D, I think my favorite class in D&D is honestly a warlock.
Oh, really? Okay. What do you like
Yeah,
about the
I
warlock?
was I was instinctively going to play a warlock for this campaign just because I'm so familiar with them and they can be whatever the hell they need to be.
Yeah,
But I think what I like about warlock so much is that you can do just anything with them.
yeah.
My warlock that died recently, that's my favorite character. He was a melee person.
Okay.
So he was up in the front lines with the tough feet, which gave him a bunch
Yeah.
of extra health. He had 17 armor and he was just hacking and slashing everything.
Yeah. I my favorite sorcerer. I love sorcerer because I love being
Ooh.
able to manipulate my spells, quicken spells, subtle spells.
Yeah.
Those I love it so
Tw-
much. I've
Twin
never
casting a cure wounds just hits different.
yeah, and twin casting a haste spell. Whew.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. We had one, they had a barbarian and a fighter, twin cast haste. It's
Shit.
like go to town.
Wow. Get them, boys.
Yep. Yeah, and then subtle spell I love too because then you can't be counterspelled. So something I really got to get off. We know we're fighting that wizard. And then I'll do that. I'll have sorcerer villain sometimes. Throw out some subtle spells if I know there's a counterspell heavy. I'm like, well, not all the time. I'm not trying to like, but yeah, I mean, sometimes if it's I'll give them a set sorcery points, and it's like, okay, well, they can do a couple things not around combat. But the only thing that has kept me from playing warlocks is, I think it's like some kind of weird authority complex. I just tying my backstory to like some kind of patron just makes me go, no, I don't want to. I need to do one where I hate my patron, and then I'll probably love playing it.
How do you feel about clerics out of curiosity with that notion? Do you not like clerics either?
Different for some reason, and I think because in my head, the clerics are, it's a deity. They might not even have direct contact with them. It's just kind of like their faith. Whereas with warlocks, it's like, hey, I need some cash, Papa. Like
can you give me another hex, please, sir? Can I have some more?
Something like that. And I know that's not accurate, but every time I go to design a warlock,
it feels like it.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't thought of the right backstory that's like, oh, I like this. I did have one I want to play kind of based off of Jafar from the Aladdin story, where it's the genie one or the djinn one.
Genie, yes.
And where
my God.
He, through circumstances, he found himself having this patron out of being tricked. And now he's just like super mad about it.
Holy shit.
So that one I think might be fun.
Oh my God. I love that.
Going back to 14 just for a second though. I'm a red mage main. That's the only class that needs to exist because it's the best. But Bard is my second. I do like I love archer type characters, and that's kind of the way the Bard plays in 14. It's fun.
It is. And the animations are gorgeous.
The animations are great. And I've got my glamour set up. I'm a big DC fan. I've got my DC wall over here. I can see Superman, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, on our session 0, I think we saw him.
Yeah, I've got a whole wall. Yeah. So I've got him dressed up kind of like Green Arrow. I like it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's my Bard. But I also like it because the rotation's kind of fun because you play songs, and I don't know if you've unlocked them.
With the 3 songs or 3 of them.
You kind of rotate through them, and then it's complicated at first. It took me some time to kind of get it.
Once you find the rhythm of playing a Bard, it's really fun.
It kind of feels like playing like your own little songs and stuff, which is kind of cool. Now, are you musical at all? Have you ever experimented with the actual song playing you can do in the game? Like the instruments?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I used to play a game that has that though. Mabinogi, an old MMO.
Okay.
Used to have something like that where you could like imprint or import your own music, but kind of translate it into the in-game notes, and that was really cool.
Oh, well, have you seen like the concerts people put on in like the main cities? Have you ever caught one of those?
I have some. I've seen like some music like from some like role play clubs and such like that, and some like traveling bands and such like that.
Some of them are really good.
And like with the dance choreography they do, like it's kind of insane. It's like an actual like Vegas performance.
I know.
Almost. Like the shit's so choreographed. It's crazy.
I don't know how they do it. It's impressive though. And Gridania, I catch them there a lot. So like they're in the little near the Aethernet, the main one there. There's people playing. A lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Gridania is my home. Like that's where I go. That's my city.
That's fair.
So
yeah.
What about you?
There's
only one right answer. It's Gridania, but I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was totally Gridania. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to remember the name of it. I think it was in the northern. Part.
Is it Ishgard? Or
my man, Ishgard.
Yeah, okay, now Ishgard.
My man.
That's acceptable. Ishgard's amazing.
All right. So yep, it was Ishgard.
As long as it's not okay. So Soloist is going to get mad at me. I don't like Limsa because I find it so confusing to get around, even though it's so pretty. But yeah, Ishgard, that's okay. There is an Ishgard in our setting in Kupo Quest up north. So
sick.
So the way that I've kind of done it is I've not everything is like a 1-to-1. So like there's an Ishgard and there's a Rabanaster and there's a Cornelia. and I'm basing cities on like kind of the concepts of those, but they're not like 1-to-1 copies.
Sure.
But yeah, there is a city up north called Ishgard. Kind of keeping with the theme of Ishgard, secluded, not a lot of trade in and out. They're more self-sufficient, blocked off by a mountain range. So if you get there, if you want to go there, just some additional obstacles to overcome. So
cool. Okay, spicy.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I was approaching it. Like, I don't want to copy everything 1-to-1, but I do want to pull in, and it was easier to make up city names if I was like, okay, let's use this city, and I'll, this is what it is in this world. Because that's always world building for me, is trying to make up names and cities. I'm just so bad.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like this city in the forest land. No,
or Forestville.
Yeah, exactly. Although there is an Elfheim, but I pulled that straight out of Final Fantasy, so I can't. I'm not taking the heat for that one.
Hey, a lot of great games and great ideas come from stolen other ideas. So
yeah, that's how it works. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Well, Final Fantasy 1 was basically just a D&D ripoff too. So, and there's a lot in some of those early ones. Spell slots even was there. I don't know really how it worked in first or second edition. But yeah, in the original one, you had a set number of slots for each level of your spells, and it kind of plays like 5th edition does now.
Interesting.
But it seems more annoying because you fight random battles all the time instead of like 2 or 3 times a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd find yourself with your white mage like, I just am attacking because I want to save my cure spells or whatever.
Yep.
But so have you played any of the other Final Fantasy? Just 14?
No, yeah, literally just 14.
Get in there, man.
Growing up, one of my best friends growing up, he was a big Final Fantasy nerd because he had the PlayStation and all the appropriate consoles for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mostly an Xbox kid growing up, so I had the Halos and the Call of Duties.
This close to liking you. So close. I did have a 360. I call that the dark days.
The dark days.
No, I really like my 360. I'm giving you some crap, but I've been a PlayStation man since PlayStation 1. It's just where my heart's been. But yeah, I mean, Xbox had some good stuff, and the 360 era I had to cave because I had to play Gears of War. That
my man
was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great game series.
I never played past 3. Have you played the others?
I played. Right? Yeah, I think there's a 5th one. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I know there's definitely 4. I played like a little beta or like a little trial of 4.
Okay.
Still felt like the Gears of War kind of thing. Nothing. Yeah. If I recall, there was nothing like too drastically different, but there was definitely some subtle changes that, like, if you played Gears of War a lot, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. That's awesome."
Yeah, it was just that was my fave. I mean, I think I bought the 360 so I could play Gears of War, and I actually could play Final Fantasy 11 on my Xbox. So that was another thing because I jumped from PS2 to 360 so I could play 11. And then now BioShock, was that an Xbox exclusive for a while too? Because I know it's like everywhere now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, honestly. That was a great one though. That's the one with the big daddies, right? The suits.
Yeah. Underwater Rapture, was that the name of the city? I think.
Yeah.
With the little sisters
I think so. Yeah.
You had to choose to save them or sacrifice them, and it was.
Sacrifice them and get the power, dude. That game was kind of twisted. It was cool.
Yeah, it's twisted.
A little messed up.
I'm a big chicken when it comes to video games. Like, I can watch scary movies, but with BioShock's like the scariest game I've ever made it through. And it's not even really a horror game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's just creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
But and that's enough to make me be like, no, thank you.
There's something different about being in the game and watching it instead of watching it. Like, I played Resident Evil, 4, and I was just nervous. I'm like, I'm not having fun because I'm nervous, and I don't care for this. And then I've got the PlayStation VR, and I picked up some game called Weeping Doll because it was. I think it was free, and it's kind of like a puzzle game, but the entire time you hear like this kind of like crying child in the background, and the house is abandoned, and it's all VR, and you'll go into a room and you'll hear like the door shut behind you and stuff.
Oh, and God.
I can't do it, but I gave it a shot. So.
Yeah, that's it's a little too creepy for me.
Happy Halloween season, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my I used to stream a lot, and one of my viewers bought me Amnesia, and nope,
Yeah,
too
I've
scary.
heard about that. I
Yeah,
think.
it's a cool game, but I'm too much of a fucking coward.
Yeah, I just can't do it. I don't. I mean,
Hmm.
I can do them if someone's with me. Like if I've got
Hmm.
someone in the room, then I can be like, ha 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 ha, this isn't scary,
Yeah,
even though
you
I'm
could
like
laugh at the pain instead of being in
terrified.
misery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I can be like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, this is just so stupid, isn't it? But
Hmm.
when inside, I'm
Yep. Inside, you're
terrified.
like, you're like trembling.
Well, what I hate too about the VR is, you're so immersed in it, and then, I've got people in my life that I love dearly, my wife, but whom also loves to scare the crap out of me when she gets a chance,
Oh,
So if she
yeah.
sees me in the VR, she is not opposed to every now and then just being like, boo.
Oh God, that's the worst,
Yeah.
especially when playing a scary game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I don't know. Speaking of VR, though, I did play a Batman VR game, though. That was a lot of fun. I
Ooh,
did like that one.
yo,
It was
that's been sick.
based in the Arkham series, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I did like that one.
Yeah, that's cool. I assume you got to, because I assume it was like the traditional kind of beat 'em up, go find the bad guy
It
kind of
actually
thing,
was
like
more of a
minions and
detective
such.
game. So, it was
Really?
more, and it was one of the earlier PSVR games. So I don't, a lot of the technology was not as smooth as it is
Little
getting.
junky. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was more of a detective. Like you'd go in and you'd identify like things and try to solve the mystery of whoever killed somebody. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
And then there were some action sequences and stuff like that, but it wasn't
Sure. Yeah.
necessarily as much of a beat up game. But it was fun. It was short.
Wow.
I think it was
Yeah.
like a
Sure. Sure.
6 hour game or something, as some of those
Mm.
VRs tend to be. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was fun. And then
Wow, that's cool.
I think my favorite one has been Job Simulator. Have you heard of this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
so good. It's just so much fun. We picked up the sequel, Vacation Simulator, but we didn't like it as much.
Mhm.
But Job Simulator it's just gorgeous. Like
Yeah,
it's the
I have
best thing.
tabletop simulator. I taught one of my friends how to play chess on it.
Oh, I should do that. That sounds.
Yeah,
What can you
it's
play in
fun.
that?
Oh, you can play a lot of shit. You can play Dungeons and Dragons in there. You can play like Magic the Gathering.
Ooh, God, I miss
You can play
Magic.
chess, checkers. You can play like regular cards. It's kind of cool.
Cool. Huh.
Yeah.
Can you play Rook? I miss Rook. I love that game. Have you ever played Rook? Some people don't even know what I'm talking about.
That sounds just ever so slightly familiar, but I don't think so.
Maybe it's a regional thing because I've met other people and I'm like, I love the card game Rook, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
It's great. It should have a bird on the cover, like a bird.
Yeah, a little like a raven or something.
Yeah, the Rook.
Whoa.
It's just like yeah, I don't know. It must be a regional thing because there's all sorts of people around here I know that play it, and we used to play it in high school. But then I've met people and they're like, no clue what you're talking
Wow.
about.
Yeah, no, this doesn't look familiar. This looks cool though.
It's
Just kind of briefly looking over it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just a team game. So you've got two, you and your partner versus another set of partners. It's one of those trick taking games. So each round, you each have like 10 cards. You play your cards in the middle, and then the highest card of the suit that led takes it, unless someone plays the trump suit, and then it wins it. And then the rook is the highest trump card. It takes everything whenever it lands. So pretty simple. At the beginning, there's 5 cards in the middle, and then you bid on how many points you think you can make that round, and whoever bids the highest gets it. And if you don't meet your bid, you go back that many points. So,
Oh.
so it's
Okay.
fun. I love the game. I
Yeah.
love it. I don't know why I like Rook so much. It's probably just because I grew up playing it all the time.
Yeah, fair. Little
I-
bit of a nostalgia thing.
The reason I bring that up is I can't find anyone to play with now. So I was wondering if it was available in a tabletop simulator.
I mean, it might be, honestly. Who knows? There's a lot of shit in
I
there.
gotta check on that.
Yeah.
I was seeing. Speaking of tabletop simulators, I don't know how closely you follow like the D&D Beyond and all the stuff they have coming out. But did you see the D&D 1 presentation they did not long ago? Like where they were kind of talking about what's coming in the next couple years as they move to not 6e.
Yeah, I heard I read a video I watched a video of WebDM of Jim Davis covering it from WebDM.
Okay.
But I haven't gone and listened to or watched the whole entire thing about it yet.
Well, they had a snapshot of like what they're envisioning going forward with like D&D Beyond, and they had this like really beautiful like 3D map set up and stuff like that. So if we're still running Kupo Quest by the time they start implementing that stuff, it's going to be great. It's going to be
Ooh.
off the hooks. Because right now, you guys
Okay.
are just getting my really crappy, quickly done and incarnate battle maps and stuff. So that's what you got. So
Yeah, I'll have
not
to look into that. That sounds
not the
sick.
best cartographer myself.
Nah,
As long
maps
as
are
I
overrated.
as long as I get the point across.
Yeah, exactly. That's what matters.
So what do you prefer like with D&D? Do you prefer like combat, grid combat? Do you do theater of the mind? How do you usually play it?
Um, Usually a lot of the combat we end up playing between the couple games I play a lot is usually theater of mind.
Okay.
So it can make it a little tricky sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I honestly really like all the exploration. Like there's like combat, role play, and exploration
Yeah.
are like the three pillars of D&D, quote unquote. Exploration, give or take. Not
Okay.
against it, but like it's like, yeah, whatever. Let's go discover a cave. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I love role playing and I like
Okay.
combat. Not like if I go 3 or 4 sessions without fighting something, I'm not going to be upset.
Okay. That's good to hear because it kind of lines up exactly with how I like my games too. Just because I'm the same way. I love role playing.
Hmm.
I love playing the character. I love even just those
Yeah.
intense conversations where you're trying to navigate that. And then combat's always fun. But like, yeah, the exploration, I could take or leave it. It's one of
Yeah,
those things
exactly.
like I'm just as soon fine. Okay, you're traveling for a couple days to get to this place. Okay, cool. Maybe a
Hmm.
random encounter here and there, whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that wants to spend 3 months in the Amber Temple
Exploring
going
all the
through
nooks and
every
crevices.
yeah, just to
Yeah.
find that one extra gold or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So
if the group's like, "Hey, let's go explore the forest." It's like, "Yeah, all right, sure. Why not?" But
yeah, I do tend to lean in more towards the role playing. I think that's the most interesting part of the game. The
yeah,
just the
and honestly,
characters.
that's one of the parts that like builds your character the most too, in my
Exactly.
opinion.
Yeah. Plus, as a DM, it gives me a break from having to run number crunches, and I can just play a little bit. Like I
Yeah.
can just talk and be a part of it.
Yeah, and just kind of like get involved,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I'm a lot of the times doing like note taking and mathing and rolling and keeping up with stuff. But nice role
Hmm.
playing sessions, it's just like, okay, and then I get to play the characters that I've made up for this campaign and things like
Hmm.
that. So
Or if there's something you've been really needing to say and just haven't been able to say it yet. Oh, hey, we're finally talking. Yeah,
exactly.
you can finally get something out that you need to.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because I like to, and some DMs do it different. I do like to present the information in the world if I can,
Hmm.
in some way like that. I'll have some DMs that's like, yeah, you would have found this out at some point, and I'm like, okay, well, I would have liked to have found that out somewhere too.
Found it out,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see, because that's always hard too, because you don't want to drag the game down too much with
Yeah,
non-players.
it's
So
kind of trying to find a balance between digging stuff up socially and just being like, all right, yeah, you learned this.
yeah, yeah. Or sometimes that's why I always like having someone like Ace who's playing Izzy, the wizard, who would have been well
Hmm.
read. It's always a nice, you read a lot, so you probably, especially if it's something historical,
Mm.
you would know this.
Hmm. Or
That's
like you probably recall reading this somewhere. Like, oh
yeah,
yeah, this reminds me of that thing I heard about this person.
exactly. So it's always
Yeah.
nice to have your wizard for that. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking. Speaking of wizards, we've got let's see, we got a wizard, a cleric, a monk, and a fighter. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good. What like
That's
two
that's pretty well rounded.
two melee, two range. Although the cleric might be kind of tanky. That was psychic said they were going with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know if yeah. Find out.
we'll find out. It's gonna be fun though. I think that's a pretty nice blend. And I'm kind of glad you didn't go warlock, because I was thinking in my head, if someone picks warlock, how are we gonna do the patrons? Because I
Mm.
don't wanna limit people. So, but if you come up with okay, fathomless patron, who's that gonna be? Um, which is always fun too, but it's just a
Yeah.
little bit less work I had to do.
A little bit. Yeah. Honestly, something that's really cool is with my warlock. I had no idea who my patron was. My DM was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll figure that out if you're cool." I was like, "Hey,
Oh,
sure, fuck it, why not?"
that
And
works too. That's
yeah, I don't
pretty
know if
fun.
you're familiar. Are you familiar with the Eberron world at all?
I was seriously considering running a campaign in it, and it just kind of fell through. So I started reading quite a bit,
Okay,
but
but like you're
didn't actually
familiar with
play
the
in it.
dragon marks?
Yeah. Oh, those are
Okay,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, he was a Leander, so he was one of the sailors,
Okay.
obviously. And so, just very long story short, his great great grandfather was the first Leander in the world,
Okay.
and he became a warlock because his great grandfather made a pact with the sea, with the open ocean,
Oh,
which is
so is
how
it
he
like
became
the Warlock
fathomless.
pack went through generations, like it passed on, or?
Yeah, it skipped through random generations and then hit my
Oh,
character.
how
Yeah,
did your
just
character
like with the
feel
dragon
about
mark.
that?
He didn't know what a warlock was before he died. He
Oh,
like knew
okay.
what they were, but he never understood how he got his powers
Oh,
because it was never
cool.
explained to him.
See, now
Yeah,
that's a
he just
Warlock I
figured.
could get behind.
Yeah, he just figured he was a Leander with some extra spice because he had extra water abilities from the
Oh,
warlock patron.
cool.
Yeah, he found out from one of his really smart friends that he was like, "Oh yeah, your grandfather made a pact with the sea many years ago when he was still
Oh,
alive." But it's
wow.
like, what does that mean?
I like that. That's
Yeah, it was
cool.
really cool. It was sick.
I like that. Yeah, the dragon marks were a very cool addition to that world, and
Yeah,
they give you some really cool benefits. Like I found
yeah, they
myself
really did.
making a bunch of dragon mark characters. I'm like, I'll never play these because
Yep.
I can't find an Eberron game. But yeah, I really liked some of those. The humans had some pretty cool ones too. I had a human
They
monk
really
with
did.
one. I don't remember which dragon mark though. And wasn't there like an aberrant dragon mark you could give to pretty much anybody? Wasn't it like a feat you could take or something?
Yeah, there was a feature of some type that you could take. I
Okay.
think it gave you like a lesser or like a minor version of the dragon of whatever dragon mark you
Oh
wanted.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool setting. Another setting
Yeah, it
I
is.
liked that they put out recently is Theros. Have you played? Have you done anything with that?
I
Uh,
haven't played in the setting, but I played a lot of Magic, so I'm
yeah.
familiar with like the mythos of it. And then
Yeah.
I've seen some of the like content on D&D
I
Beyond.
haven't got to play in it either, but yeah, I really like the setting, and that's why when I was doing this, I'm like, I'm totally taking the Leonin, and so that I translated
Yeah,
them into the
the Leonin are badass.
yeah, they are. So I translated their base racial traits into oh my god, Hrothgar. You know, the lion race from Final Fantasy
Oh,
14.
yeah, yeah,
So that's
yep.
basically just a reskin Leon, and I was like,
Ooh,
this character needs to be in my world. I love
that's
this race.
perfect. Yeah,
I
that's a
love
really
this
good
race.
translation of it too, honestly.
So yeah, I was like, this works. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both lion people. So how does that work? And then no one played Leon, and I was sad. But that doesn't mean I can't use them as NPCs though.
Hey,
So
true that. Don't worry, I'll make a Leonin Warlock as a backup character.
yeah, yeah. Let's all make backup characters. They all have to be Leonin or Loporits because those are my two favorites. So you said you went with Elezen, right? That's what you are,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yep.
So that's an Elezen, a Loporit, a Galka, and a what's Ace is a Viera. Viera. So
Yeah.
okay. Nice little. And for those of you that are listening to this and wondering, I basically took the races from like Final Fantasy 11 and 14, the MMOs, and then I picked my favorite name for them. So that's why they're Galka and not Rogadin, because I just like the name Galka. So or Galka, however you say it.
Fair.
And then I think I named the cat people Mithra. That was from 11, just because
Mm,
I like how it sounds. So it's just
fair.
how I
Yeah.
did it. So.
Mithra is a cool name.
But yeah, it's cool, isn't it? I just like that.
Mhm.
And Final Fantasy 11 was like when everyone was like really into World of Warcraft. Like when it first came out, I
Mm,
was the kid playing
mhm.
Final Fantasy 11, and it was a core piece of my high school identity.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so it's got a soft spot in my heart. Like 11 will always be like my like MMO game, even though I don't play it
Mm,
regularly anymore. It's one of those games. It's like every time I think about it, I just get this like nice warm nostalgic
this warm
feeling. Just
feeling.
like it's
Yeah.
like a hug
Yep.
from the inside.
I'm like that with old school RuneScape.
RuneScape. I never played
Yeah.
RuneScape, but
Oh
I've
man,
heard good
so
things.
good.
Did you ever play
You won't
EverQuest or any of
enjoy
those?
it now at all. Oh, I have a friend that's obsessed with EverQuest. He still plays it to
The
this day.
original one still?
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa, that's
Yeah,
so
he's an
old
absolute
school.
warrior. Yeah.
I went back to Final Fantasy 11 last year for a little bit, and they've changed it enough to where it was, because before it was really grindy, and I didn't realize how grindy it was because I was in high school, and what else did I have to do?
Yeah, exactly.
But then thinking back, I'm like, I spent a lot of hours and never hit max level.
Oh wow.
I mean, I spent a
Wow.
lot of hours. I also it's the same as 14 where you can keep jumping jobs, so I did that a lot too.
Sure, yeah.
But I went back. I was like, it's killing me that I love this game so much. I was never max level, so I got on,
Yeah.
and they made it a lot more solo friendly. And I got my guy up. I beat the main scenario quest, and I was like, there,
Yes.
I've done it after all these years. So what else do you like to play then? So we talked a little bit about Xbox. What are you into these days?
Yeah, I play League of Legends, unfortunately. Don't ever play that game.
Never played it. The closest I've come is
good.
Pokemon
Stay that way.
Unite, which I actually really like, but
Okay.
that's the closest I've come into the MOBA genre.
Yeah, no, that's just stay away from League of Legends. You'll be a lot happier.
I've
I'm
heard.
playing Overwatch 2 a bit. I
Okay.
kind of like shooter games like that. That's been
How
pretty
is
fun.
that? I downloaded it and then didn't play it.
It's essentially just the same as regular Overwatch. Well, okay, that's not really fair to say. It's essentially the same game, but the dynamic of actually playing it is different, with there being one less tank in the game.
Oh,
It
I didn't know they
feels
did
a
that.
little fucky though. Like it feels like some shit still needs to be more balanced. But I also suck at the game, so maybe I'm just a boomer and complaining.
Yeah, that's my problem
Yeah.
with shooters, is they're fun, but
Yeah.
I'm not good at them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Overwatch, League of Legends. I recently got this game on Steam called Brotato. It's
Brotato.
awesome. You're a potato, and you get weapons, and you kill
That does
waves
sound
of enemies that come at you. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like I don't know if you ever played Vampire Survivors.
I've not played that.
I don't know what the genre is called, but
Brotato.
yeah, it's a great game. It's
Okay,
fun.
I gotta look up Brotato.
Yeah,
Sounds
you should
amazing.
on Steam. It's great. I don't know what genre the game's called. But
So, are you still
it's a
streaming
beautiful game.
like these days?
I want to, but I'm on a little bit of a take a break hiatus.
Okay,
'Cause
until
I got
Monday.
that burnout. Yeah, right, until Monday. Yeah, but I got a huge case of the burnout, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break for a bit.
Yeah. Well, and I guess it's different too, playing on your downtime and then playing to stream. You know, because
Yeah.
you gotta be more on, and
A little more entertaining instead of just sitting there going,
yeah. Like when I play, I'm like this.
you're vibing. Yeah, just absolutely loud, slouched back in your chair like a mad lad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the worst posture possible. But then,
Oh, yeah.
when I turn the recording on, I'm like, all right, I gotta lean into the mic a little
I
bit
gotta
more.
sit up.
Make
Be
sure
all
that
fancy.
I put a smile on. I'm like, how you doing?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I've
Make sure
never.
you're not picking your nose or something.
Yeah, okay, not yeah. You got to be careful. Like what, got to watch what you're doing, and just like, oh wow, what am I? Or like
Yep.
you can't zone out and like.
Oh yeah, and just get the dumb look on your face when you streamer. Are you okay? Oh yeah, shit. What's up, guys?
I
Hey,
forgot I
yeah.
was here.
Hey, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think it'll help. I've never streamed before, but I think it'll help because in this, I've got my players that I'm interacting with, so it's mainly just playing D&D. And
Yeah,
hoping it's
exactly.
entertaining. As far as like my brother, he streams games and he's like always has to keep his eye on the chat and this and that and be entertaining. And sometimes I just don't. I just want to play my games, especially when I'm playing my. I think I'm contractually obligated to mention Disney Dreamlight Valley in every one of these, but especially when I'm playing that, I'm just having my relaxing, just gonna pick my pumpkins, gonna decorate my house. No one wants to watch this, but I want to.
Yeah,
do
no,
it.
definitely. You're just hanging out, just chilling. You're
Yeah.
low energy. You're just
That's
vibing.
great. So are you still playing 14, or are you on a break from that right now? Or
No, I stopped that a while ago. I played it with a group of like of 2 friends and like 3 or 4 of their friends that I was just cool with.
okay,
And I was unemployed at the time when I started, so I was just putting like 10 hours a day in it because
Yeah.
fuck it, I was waiting for a job anyways.
yeah,
So I think I got a little burnt out on that. And then about the time that I was getting burnt out, the 2 friends that I played with were like, all right, yeah, because it was in the middle of a content lull when I started. So they were getting bored of the game too. So it was like, oh, well, great. The 2 people that I'm going to play with stopped playing.
hey, if you come back, I'll play with
All
you.
right, bet.
Because
Cool.
they just put in a data center visit transfer. Because I'm assuming you're on a West Coast data center. So yeah, even characters can go back and forth. So I will definitely, if you ever come back, run some dungeons. I will
Okay.
lend my red mage abilities to whatever dungeon you want to run. So
Okay, I've been looking for an MMO to get into because I love MMOs and just everything just feels dead to me right now. Except
Same.
for I haven't played Final Fantasy in a minute, so
Yeah.
you know
Well,
maybe it'll catch my eye again.
Final Fantasy's in a great spot. I mean, Warcraft's coming out with a new expansion next month, so there's that. But Final Fantasy's in a great spot right now, I think. So I'm a little biased, being the Final Fantasy podcast / D&D Final Fantasy
fair.
guy.
Yeah, I played my fair share of World of Warcraft. I think I'm good on that game for a bit personally.
That's kind of how I was too. Like we played for years, and it's just I just moved on. But
yeah,
not that I don't like it, and there's probably part of me that around Christmas will be like, let me check out this new expansion.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's long since not been my main MMO.
Yep.
So
yeah, my buddy and I were chatting the other day, and we are like, "Oh yeah, Dragonflight's coming out soon." We're like, "Damn, dude, that's cool."
yeah,
and we sat there for 5 seconds. He's like, "I'm still probably gonna buy the expansion and try it anyways when it comes out because I'm addicted." And it's like, "Yeah, me too."
yeah,
yeah, probably
do
me
that.
too. Yeah,
it's one of those things. Like I played it for years and years, but I think this most recent one was the first time I didn't hit max level. Like we got about halfway through, and we're just not feeling it. Let's just take a break, you know.
Yeah.
So we did, and it's just new expansion time's always like, what you got there though?
Yeah, exactly.
So
please anything.
yeah. All right. Well, we are, I've enjoyed talking to you. We're running up about on the time that I've had these interviews going. So any last thoughts you want to say? Anything about the game you're looking forward to, or just anything? You're on the spot.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get started. Avalan Exalos is ready to kick some ass and play some D&D.
I'm ready too. I'm super excited, and I'm excited to see, especially from your perspective, how it plays out with some of the Final Fantasy stuff. Because I know there's probably Psychic is the most knowledgeable of Final Fantasy in the group,
the resident expert.
Yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see his reaction when there's like things that are references to things versus your all's reaction where it's just going to be an element of the game. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. So it's nice that we have a pretty decent blend of people. So, all right. Well, are you on socials? Do you want people to follow you? If not, you don't have to say anything. I'm just giving everybody the opportunity to kind of say that here at the end. Like if they got a Twitter
if when I ever do stream on Twitch again, it'll be Fishybugs499, and then same with the Twitter. I post on there whenever I go live. That's about it though. You follow Twitter.
Cool.
But yeah, Twitch and Twitter, Fishybugs499.
Awesome. You're also going to be on twitch.tv/KupoQuest starting Monday, November 7th.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
So starting Monday, not a Monday in the future, this Monday.
But the Monday.
The Monday. I hit the point. It was yesterday at Halloween, is a week out. I hit the point. I was like, what was I thinking? I got to that point. I was like, why am I doing this? I think it'll be fun. Though.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, I got to that. I was like, dude.
You're like, oh no.
What? Oh no. I'm too far in now. There's no backing out. I got people on board.
At this point it's too late. Yep.
I've had and then Harlequin, he's gonna hunt me down if I can't. So he's like ready to go. So I was like, nope, we're doing this. Yep. So I'm excited. So that's going to be twitch.tv/KupoQuest. And then the videos of that will go up later on YouTube on our Highwind Herald YouTube channel. So Highwind Herald is the podcast that my brother and I run. It's the Final Fantasy podcast that's producing the show. By producing, I mean I do both. So those will be up on YouTube. And if you want to follow us, you can follow me at Wolfkins on Twitter and then Highwind Herald on Twitter as well. And I'm kind of using that one right now as like a dual Highwind Herald KupoQuest kind of thing. So information for both of those. The audio for this too will be available in our Highwind Herald podcast feed if you are interested in that. So I'm dropping those there, and then once the show starts, I might actually just split it out and drop a podcast audio version of this show separate from that one, just to make it available for people.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, man, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for taking part of your morning to talk to me just about games and stuff in general. It's been great. I cannot wait to get started, and we've got one more meeting that we're going to do just to make sure we've got everything, all the streams set up, and then we're off to the races.
Oh God, yes.
Let's do it.
Excited.
Thank you so much again for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Monday it is.